9 a.m., boy number 2 casually blows my mind with literal superpowers.
I don't show this to just anyone.
At 10 a.m., I walk into the library and meet Mr. Tall, Dark, and Terrifying. The kind of guy who can kill you with a stare or kiss you into oblivion. Finally, at 11 comes the one who almost had me drooling. Funny thing, I've never had a boyfriend. Never had anyone chase me. So why are the 4 deadliest alphas here thirsty for my attention?
The wolves in our pack didn't see humans like me as anything more than background noise, and I liked it that way. But to my surprise, I got accepted into Lunaris Academy, the elitist werewolf school of the kingdom where alpha werewolves pick their future queens. How the hell did I end up at Lunaris Academy? I tried everything not to get in. I had absolutely no interest in becoming an option for those ruthless wolves. I wrote weird things in the mandatory application form so that they would reject me. But not only did I get accepted, 4 most dangerous cardinal alphas, the literal gods of the Lunaris Academy, started fighting over me. Me, a nobody, a virgin girl from the trailer park. That was when I knew there was more to who I was. My unusual purple hair color was not there for no reason.
Violet Purple, please report to Principal Lincoln's office.
The announcement blared through the hallway speakers. Oh crap, Violet muttered under her breath. Why does the principal want to see me? Is it about the application and the weird things that I wrote? Please, God, tell me they can take a joke. Violet recalled the exact words she had written under the special skills section of the application form. Special skills. 1, giving amazing services. 2, giving a killer lap dance. And 3, you haven't seen anything until you've seen me in bed. After all, what else was she supposed to do? Nancy wanted her to get into Lunaris, so she could land some hotshot alpha and pick them out of their poverty. Basically, Nancy wanted Purple to become a whore as well, just with a fancier clientele. And for the same reasons, Violet never wanted to get into Lunaris. Not even a little. She had poured her frustration into the form, writing that ridiculous nonsense without a second thought. Gibberish that no one in their right mind would ever take seriously. But now, here she was. Outside Principal Lincoln's office, she took a deep breath and knocked. "Come in," his voice boomed. Headmaster Lincoln leaned forward, still smiling. "The application results are in. I called you in to thank you." "Thank me?" "Yes, Violet. Don't you know, since the scholarship program started, only 3 students from our district have ever been chosen. It's a huge deal, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I wanted to personally acknowledge your achievement." Achievement? A creepy feeling started to crawl up Violet's spine. No way. She refused to even consider it. Headmaster Lincoln, totally oblivious to her growing panic, pulled out an envelope. "Congratulations, Violet, you've been accepted into Lunaris Academy." Violet's ears started ringing. This was impossible. There had to be a mistake. No one could have accepted her into any school with the offensive words she wrote, let alone the Lunaris Academy. Something was fishy. Out of all the elites in the school, the whore's daughter, Violet Purple, was chosen to attend the Lunaris Academy, even after writing shit on her application. Everyone was shocked. As Violet headed out of the headmaster's office, all the elite kids who used to look down upon her now looked at her with jealous eyes. Violet wasn't much elated at her acceptance to the Lunaris Academy, but watching the dull, hung faces of those brats gave her a bit of relief. That was the only good thing that came out of her acceptance. However, now that her application plan had failed, Violet had a new plan in mind to ditch the academy. For over a week, she skipped school because the scholarship had a deadline. Show up within a week, or they'd give it to someone else. Violet hoped that this would get her rid of the Lunaris. But to everyone's surprise, some stranger from Lunaris sent her school a letter, all polite and everything, saying the offer was still good. They even said to call if something was stopping her from coming. It was bizarre. Lunaris wasn't usually this nice. It was like they were chasing her like she was some VIP or something. Violet hadn't shown up at Lunaris for a week, but still they hadn't given her spot away. Violet's school was surprised. Sure, she was smart and athletic, but there were way smarter kids at her school. The brainiacs who studied 24/7, hoping to get that scholarship. Lunaris didn't want them. They only wanted Violet. It made no sense. No one knew what exactly was happening at Lunaris, but Violet was sure the star of her school now. Seeing Violet wasting her opportunity, Her teacher tracked down her mom Nancy's number and called her. The next day, a furious Nancy went all haywire on Violet. And well, things went downhill from there, and there wasn't a thing she could do about it. Violet was going to Lunaris, whether she liked it or not. Violet had never belonged anywhere, and she certainly didn't belong at a school full of royalty and wolves. But here she was. The cool air sent a shiver down Violet's arms as she looked up at Lunaris Academy. She still had no idea how the hell she got accepted here. She was all confused as she stepped through Lunaris's gothic gates. But before she could take another step, a guy with bright green hair came barreling towards her, laughing like he was being chased by a pack of wild dogs. Violet didn't have time to react before he slammed into her hard. Whoa! Before she knew what was happening, his arms were around her waist, steadying her. Well, hello there. Look what fate just delivered, he purred, his voice smooth as silk. His warm breath tickled her neck, and Violet shivered, realizing how much trouble this guy could be. She pulled away and looked up. Big mistake. A mischievous grin spread across his face, and Violet's pulse quickened. As much as I'd love to get to know you, my purple princess, he said, there's a monster about to kill me. Okay, so he's a flirt, but murder? Violet's blood ran cold. She really hoped he wasn't being literal, but apparently he was. A deep roar echoed through the hall, startling everyone. What is going on? Before Violet could even ask, the green-haired guy was running again. Just as Violet was about to make a quick exit, she noticed something on the floor. Hey, you dropped this, she yelled, figuring it must have fallen off when they collided. Hold on to that for me, darling, would you? He winked, then vanished out the door. And he didn't even apologize for practically running her over. Violet shook her head, totally bewildered. What a weirdo, but at least he has good taste. She muttered, examining the necklace. The sapphire pendant, a teardrop surrounded by tiny diamonds, shimmered with an oceanic blue. Violet frowned. This wasn't just any necklace. The intricate engravings suggested a family heirloom. Holding something so personal made her uneasy. She was still examining it when a growl raised the hair on her arms. Turning slowly, she saw a furious, red-haired werewolf stalking toward her, muscles tense with barely controlled anger. Oh great, what now? Hatred burned in his eyes, his lips curled into a snarl. What did I do? She thought, panicking. His gaze locked onto the necklace. Without warning, he lunged. Violet reacted instinctively, dodging and pulling the necklace away. Hey, that's not... she started, but he cut her off by grabbing her throat. What the hell? Her eyes bulged. What is happening? Why isn't anyone helping? The other students just looked away. A chilling realization washed over her. This guy could kill her right here, right now, and no one would care. What kind of place is this? I don't know what you and Roman are up to, he hissed, his voice dripping with menace. But touch my stuff again, and it won't be good for anyone. He growled, lifting her off the ground. His stuff? Oh no. Violet realized he was the necklace's owner. The green-haired guy must have stolen it. That explained why he was running. And now, thanks to him, she was about to be murdered. Panic blinded her, until, just as suddenly, he set her down almost gently. To Violet's surprise, his eyes softened for a second like he hadn't meant to hurt her. Listen, purple girl, don't get caught up in Roman's games, he warned before stalking off with the necklace. Breathless and trembling, Violet had no idea what was going on. She just lay there, humiliated and terrified. Before she could move, a shadow fell over her. Not again, she thought. Looking up, she forgot how to breathe. Another tall, imposing guy stood before her. He wore dark shades inside, which immediately set off Violet's internal alarm bells. Who wears sunglasses indoors? Call it a hunch. But something told her the shades weren't a fashion statement, but a necessity. There was something off about him, something darker. Violet's heart pounded, and a weird tingle ran through her, a warmth settling in her stomach. What is wrong with me today? For a split second, their eyes met, or at least she thought they did. Behind those shades, she felt the weight of his gaze, sizing her up. A foolish part of her hoped he'd help her up. No such luck. Instead, his lips curled into a cold, mocking smirk, the kind that made Violet feel like prey, a toy to be played with. His eyes raked over her body, and her breath caught from a sudden jolt of fear. She'd dealt with guys like this back at her old school, and she knew better than to trust men with that dark, brooding intensity. Whatever was drawing her to him, it wasn't good. Suddenly, his lips twisted into a wild, unsettling grin. Welcome, my purple flower, I've been waiting for you for so long. What the hell? What the hell? Why are all of these guys being so frank with me, calling me nicknames on my first freaking day? This place is really messed up, and what is this look this shady guy is even giving me? Violet was terrified. Even that time she almost choked to death didn't freak her out as much as this creepy guy. Violet got up quickly, practically flew down the hall. She didn't look back, not even once. It's probably nothing, Violet told herself. Just some bored psycho wolves getting their kicks from messing with a human. But no matter how hard she tried to shake everything off, a nagging feeling stuck with her. Something wasn't right. What were the odds of running into a thief, getting choked by a brute, and then meeting that guy all in like 5 minutes? This wasn't a coincidence. It felt planned. But who did it? And why? Was her getting accepted into this academy also part of some wicked plan? Violet shook her head, trying to clear her thoughts. As she was about to meet the principal, maybe she'd finally learn why she'd been accepted despite her less-than-perfect submission, and what was happening to her on her very first day. As she knocked Principal Jameson's office, a voice called out, "Come in." She smiled as Violet walked in. "Welcome, Violet." But her smile faltered when she saw the bruise marks on Violet's neck. "Who did this to you?" she demanded, her voice full of worry. For the first time since arriving, Violet felt a flicker of hope. Finally, someone was going to deal with that jerk. She quickly explained what had happened, describing the red-haired guy in detail, but as she spoke, Principal Jameson's expression changed from anger to something much worse. Fear. "You mean Griffin Hale did this to you?" "Griffin Hale? Is that his name?" Violet asked. "Yes, Miss Purple," Principal Jameson began, her voice suddenly cautious. "I understand you're upset, but what happened was probably just guys messing around. Things are different here at Lunaris Academy. It can get a little intense, but it's all in good fun." Violet's face hardened. Messing around? Good fun? Miss Jameson, he'd practically choked. Violet stopped mid-sentence. She kinda sensed that even Principal Jameson was powerless in front of those snobby rich werewolves. Violet didn't even ask about the mystery of her application, as she figured Jameson was no more than a puppet. She swallowed her anger, but not her need for payback. Jameson might be afraid of them, but Violet wasn't. She had no clue how she'd get revenge on those guys who could snap her like a twig, but she'd figure it out, she always did. "Were you saying something, Miss Purple?" the principal asked. "Oh no, Miss Jameson, all good." "I'm sorry you had such a bad experience, Miss Purple," Jameson said. "But trust me, the boys aren't always like this. I'll have your student guide, Catherine, come get you. She'll take you to the infirmary to get these wounds checked out. Classes are almost over for the day, so you can start fresh tomorrow." Principal Jameson walked to her desk, picked up the phone, and called Catherine. A few moments later, Catherine, her student guide, arrived. Violet left with Catherine for the infirmary. On the way, Catherine handed out a box to her. "That's your Lunaris welcome pack. Go ahead, open it," Catherine urged, seeing Violet's questioning look. Violet unzipped the bag. Along with a stack of textbooks, there was a sealed package tucked inside. When Violet pulled it out and saw the logo, her eyes went wide. "No way," she whispered, holding up the sealed phone box and looking up at Catherine. Catherine smiled knowingly. "We get that some of our scholarship students come from less well-off areas, so we give out free devices to help students learn here at Lunaris Academy. Here, just log into the Lunaris Academy app," Catherine explained. "The school has free Wi-Fi. Feel free to use it." Violet couldn't believe she held a touchscreen phone in her hand. She was finally feeling a bit happy about coming to Lunaris. "Okay, now let us get you to the infirmary and get these wounds checked," Catherine chirped. They entered the infirmary ward just as a healer was tending to a student with fresh burns. "You can't keep doing this, Alaric," the healer scolded. "I'm fine," the guy with the wounds muttered. "He is Alpha Alaric," Catherine whispered. Violet's eyes landed on him and everything else faded. When their eyes met, something sharp passed between them. As he brushed past her, their arms touched briefly, and a spark jolted through her. Violet froze, stunned. Alaric looked at her with a sparkle in his eyes. They were interrupted by another healer who came in to check on Violet as Alaric left. "It's nothing serious, you're good to go," the healer said, handing her some painkillers. And then Catherine took Violet to the hostel room. Welcome to West House, Violet. This is your home now. And over there are the other houses, east, south, and north. Whoa, Violet breathed, staring at the impressive buildings. Miss Purple, you see, this school is all about hierarchy. Human or werewolf, everyone forms packs in their houses. The 4 strongest cardinal alphas study here and run these 4 houses. Everyone else follows their lead. They are basically gods here. Violet sighed. She had already seen the glimpses of student power on her very first day. Catherine continued. The West House you are going to be in is run by Alpha Asher Nightshade. Asher Nightshade? Violet echoed, intrigued. Who is this guy? Don't worry, Catherine interrupted before Violet could ask anything else. Everything you need to know is on your phone. Plus, your roommates will fill you in. Go meet your roommates. As Violet entered her room, her roommates looked at her with surprising eyes. No way, it's really her, one of them said, sounding shocked. Violet raised an eyebrow. Why did everyone at this school seem to know who she was? Hi, I'm Violet, she said, meeting their gaze. Hi, I'm Alice Parker, a girl chirped. It's so nice to meet you, Violet Purple. Violet blinked, totally surprised by the sudden friendliness. And that's Lily Fairchild over there. Hello, Lily greeted with a wave and a welcoming smile. And the grumpy one over there is Hazel Sterling, Alice said, pointing to another blonde who looked permanently scowling. When their eyes met, Violet immediately felt the dislike radiating from Hazel. Alice leaned in closer to Violet. Hazel's just jealous of you. Violet frowned. What do you mean she's jealous of me? She asked Alice, then turned to Hazel. No offense, but we literally just met. Why would you be jealous of me? That makes 0 sense. Offense taken, Hazel spat. And quit believing the garbage Alice is spewing. Oh really, Hazel, seriously, your ego is out of control, especially after you were just gossiping about that video. Lily finally chimed in. Violet stepped away from the touchy-feely Alice. What video? All 3 girls turned to her, looking at her like she was totally clueless. Violet felt her cheeks burn. What was she missing here? Lily raised an eyebrow. You haven't checked your newsfeed? Newsfeed? Violet echoed, even more confused. Biodome, Lily explained. It's where everyone at Lunaris Academy, humans and werewolves, gets all the gossip, trending topics, and school news. It's the official school network run by students, and yeah, you're kinda trending right now. What the hell? Violet's mind raced. This was not how she wanted to find out, whatever this was. Before she could even grab her phone to search for this biodome thing, Alice had hers out. She moved closer to Violet, showing her the screen. With a few taps, Alice searched for the video using Violet's name, and there it was. Violet's eyes widened as the video started playing.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.